And once you identify the problem, what you do is you look around for solutions. The creation of a solution. One that is viable and can be sold in the marketplace. So, consider that you are all entrepreneurs. How many in here want to be an entrepreneur? Outstanding. Now, how many of you have already taken the opportunity? Can everyone hear me?
Yes, sir.
Good. How many of you have already started businesses? Ah, outstanding. Head start. I like that. I'm going to give you a little bit about myself. As the introduction went, I worked in corporate America. 20 to 25 years in corporate America with some of the largest companies in the world. At the time when I worked for ExxonMobil, it was the 9th largest corporation in the world. Today, I think it's number 1. I decided that even though I worked in corporate America, I wanted to generate my own revenue. So prior to being a consultant in this business, I was in another business because that entrepreneurial spirit was just built into my DNA. After getting out of that business, I decided to go back and to get my doctorate degree in leadership and organizational change. But I wanted to test that knowledge, my PhD, in the corporate setting again. Because supposedly, the highest place that you can test your knowledge is in corporate America, working for huge corporations, implementing strategy, executing against strategy, and driving results. So I went back into corporate America and I ran a $100 million organization or a division of an organization. My largest client was J.P. Morgan Chase. Are you familiar? Have you ever heard of that bank? That's one of the largest banks in the world. Well, again, that entrepreneurial bug hit me. And I knew when I took that position that I was going to eventually leave. So I set a time frame of 5 years. For 5 years, after I got off work and I left the office and I went back to the house, I spent 5 years developing content for my consulting business. I wanted to position myself as an expert. Now, while I was working, I worked for a marketing firm. What we did was we developed marketing campaigns for Fortune 500 companies. So my knowledge base comes from working for a marketing company as well as my undergraduate degree was in marketing. Marketing is the engine behind every business success. When you have a product and you have a service that you offer, if you can't sell it, you don't have a business, you have a hobby. So you have to be able to understand the marketplace. Meaning you understand, 1, who your customer is, 2, how big their family is, 3, what their income level is, what their purchasing habits are. As an entrepreneur, you have to be embedded in the DNA of your customer's mind. They call it top-of-mind awareness. So I'm going to start off with a simple quote. It says, marketing is the blend of delightful spontaneity and creativity. As a marketer, you have to be creative and you have to be innovative. And I'm going to give you this quote by Peter Drucker right now, but it says that there are only 2 purposes of a business, to market and to innovate. What I love to talk about is a term that, first of all, let me ask you this question. Have you ever heard the phrase design thinking? Anyone in technology here? Any software developers or wannabe software developers? Have you heard of design thinking? Design thinking. What you do in design thinking is you design your product on purpose to be successful. That's what it really is. You're designing, yes.
Maybe we sketch our idea.
Say that again?
We sketch our idea. What
Yes,
to do.
yes. You sketch your idea out so that when you build the product, you're building success into the product or the service. Design thinking on purpose. So what I like to use and talk about is this phrase called intentional excellence. Why not be excellent on purpose? Make it an intent. Make it a part of who you are on a day-to-day basis. In your family, in your business, in your education, in your community, and most importantly, for your country. Be excellent on purpose. So what you don't want to do is you don't want the 3 Ds to steal your productivity, to steal your time. So you want to be able to manage those 3 Ds. Those 3 Ds are distractions, interruptions, and preoccupations. You have to manage those on a day-to-day basis, actually on a second-to-second basis, because it's easy to get distracted. I don't care who you are. It's easily to be interrupted. So what you have to be able to do is determine between what's important and what's urgent. You want to do what's important, not necessarily what's urgent. And the third one is the preoccupations. So in the passage of time throughout the day, be mindful of those 3 Ds. And spend your time wisely on a day-to-day basis doing things that are productive. Make intentional excellence a part of your DNA. And if you do that, it'll be a part of the DNA of your company, your family, and your community. Here's another quote about marketing. It talks about the importance of marketing in every aspect of the business. And it goes like this: marketing is doomed to mediocrity if it is only added after a business is deemed sustainable. You can't just begin to market because you built the business and you say, now I'm making profit. Marketing a business and building that system begins when you have the concept of the product or the service that you're going to offer. You can build that system as you do your research about the customer base or the niche market that you're going to enter. Please don't develop a product and then go find a marketplace. Find a marketplace, understand the psychology of the buyer, and then build the product. That's when you're talking about design thinking and making sure that your product or service is built to be successful on purpose. Marketing is an investment. The accountants lie to us. They tell us it costs. But when you put out $2 in marketing, you're probably looking for $5 to $6 back in return. That return on your investment, that return on your marketing investment proves that it is an investment and not a cost. Any questions? Any comments? This is to be interactive. This is for you, not me. I'm here to help. I'm here to serve. So please feel free to butt in. I won't be upset at all. Yes, ma'am.
How can we survey in the market?
How can you survey the market? That's a great question. There's lots of ways to survey the market. You can be bold enough to find out who your competition is and go to their business, or either develop an online survey and find out who their customers are. Because they're going to be developing a very similar, or they have a very similar product or service that you're looking to offer. And so you ask them questions like, if there were any changes that you would like that would make a product better, similar to the one that you're purchasing, what would those changes look like? You can ask them questions. What it is about this particular business? Why did you buy from them? So when you gather that information, you're trying to find better ways to get that customer to leave them and come to you. So it's about asking the question, but you know what? You have to do that at every step. Whether you're a successful business, unsuccessful business, a startup, or a mature business. You always have to ask those kinds of questions because the marketplace changes all of the time. And as an entrepreneur and as a solutions provider, you have to keep your finger How many of you know what a typewriter is? When's the last time you seen a typewriter?
Long time back. 3 years.
A few years ago.
Long time back.
So you don't know of this company that used to be called Smith Corona. It was a huge company one time. Employed thousands and thousands of people. Guess what they didn't do? They didn't keep their finger on the pulse of the business. So guess what? They didn't see the PC or the laptop coming. They thought it was a fad. And today, the company no longer exists. Because they couldn't look out into the future, scan the environment, and make the determination that there are changes coming. And so we have to adapt to the change, and maybe we should look at manufacturing or partner with someone to manufacture PCs and ultimately the laptop. Now, at some point in time, this is going to become obsolete. That's why you got the iPads, you got all these different devices. So as an entrepreneur, you have to look to see what the trends are. So that means you have to read. You got to read the industry's best publications to find out what technological advances are coming down the pipe. The most successful marketer becomes part of the lives of their followers. I talked about being embedded in the DNA of your client base. You basically are a psychologist. And oftentimes as a psychologist, you begin to guide your customers. And you guide them by, maybe innovation tells you that you need to create a product, and you guide them toward a product. That whole conditioning process, because that's what marketing is. Marketing is a conditioning process. And ultimately, what you want them to do, you want the customer to reach in their pocket, pull out a little bit of money, and pay for your product and your service, your service. And then to add to that, you want them to keep paying on a consistent basis. But in order to get them to keep coming back, you got to understand their behavior. So what you're really doing is you're studying what is called consumer behavior. And there's a lot of data out there. Let me ask this question. How many of you go on Facebook every day? They become a part of your life on a day-to-day basis. So basically, Facebook has embedded themselves in your mind. When you wake up, looking to see what Mark Zuckerberg is talking about. When you eat lunch, you wonder what he's talking about. When you eat dinner, you wonder what he's talking about. Before you go to sleep, you wonder what he's talking about. And oftentimes in the middle of the night, you wake up and you see what he's talking about. He's become a part of your life. And that's what you want to do as an entrepreneur with your product and service. You want to build a lifestyle around what it is you have to offer. When you build that lifestyle, guess what? The customers will come. Even when you might not want them to come. They're going to come. And they're going to spend. And ultimately, as an entrepreneur, one of my favorite sayings is, you want the cash register to ring 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what we actually want. But pick the right problem and solve it. Make sure that your followers, in their sleep, they're thinking about your product and your service.
Sir, I have a question.
Yes.
As you have said before that marketing is an investment, but according to accountant's point of view, it's a cost. Because if you're marketing a product, you're wasting your money. Can you tell us once again and how can it be our investment?
That's a great question. Yes. So, basically what he asked was, he's been taught that marketing is a cost. And if you're marketing, then you're wasting your money. If you're wasting your money, how is it an investment, correct? Do you have a cell phone? When you purchased your cell phone, did you purchase your cell phone? Okay, when you purchased your cell phone, did you look at the different models of cell phones? Okay. Somewhere down the line, you heard about it, either word of mouth because it was very good, or you saw some advertisement somewhere, That was marketing. That influenced your behavior. I don't know what it cost them to market for that marketing campaign or what it cost them to manufacture. But once you purchase that product, you paid more for it than it cost them to manufacture it. So is that a cost or an investment?
Yeah, great.
Absolutely. So that's what you want. You want to minimize the cost of marketing, what you outlay for marketing, but you want to optimize the amount of money that you can make on the product and service. By doing so, you're going to have a high return on investment. You're going to generate profit.